All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, call I'm La, Alhaina, wa Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Harakakwadash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who want to teach well, and a hearty shalom to the elect. All right, it's your brother Karatazar back with another lesson through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And I'm going to just start off by reading this first precept, and then I'm going to show y'all what this lesson is going to be about. It says, blow ye the trumpet in Zion, this Joel 2:1. Blow ye the trumpet in Zion and sound an alarm. Salaki was yawning. Sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of Yahweh cometh, for it is nigh at hand, and the day of the Lord is nigh. It's closer than ever. As another day goes by, we get closer and closer to the day of the Lord. As you can see now in the news that Trump is calling on allies to help him with this war with Iran, but nobody's helping. Right? That's just one thing you can just look at and see. Right? But let's go look at this video.
How a nuclear bomb can destroy a whole city. Let's understand it in simple terms. First, one important truth: a single nuclear bomb cannot completely erase a large country, but it can destroy a big city in minutes.
The Lord is going to have multiple thermonuclear missiles shot over here. I think it's Revelation 6 or 11. Let me go to Revelation 6 because that's not what I was looking for. Might be in 9. Where it says 200,000 goes into 200 million. That was going to be shot out as far as thermonuclear missiles. Bear with me, y'all. All right, here we go. This is Revelation 9 and verse 4. And the 4 angels were loose, which were prepared for an hour and for a day and for a month and a year, for to slay the third part of man. And the number of the army of horsemen were 200,000, and I heard the number of them. You go over here and you read it in the NLT. It says the 4 angels who had prepared for this hour and day and month and year turned loose to kill 1/3 of all the people on earth. I heard the size of the army, which was 200 million, all right, mounted troops. And that's what it's going to be from these thermonuclear missiles, all right?
Nuclear bomb is not like normal explosives. It works using atoms. Inside a nuclear bomb, there is a special radioactive material, such as uranium-235 or plutonium-239. There are also normal explosives that compress this material very precisely. The most important part is something called a chain reaction. When the system is activated, heavy atoms suddenly start breaking apart. This process is called nuclear fission. When one atom splits, a huge amount of energy is released. And
look at the wisdom that the Lord put into making a nuclear bomb, with atoms in chain reaction from other atoms reacting and hitting and bouncing off neutrons.
2 or 3 neutrons are produced. These neutrons hit other atoms and break them too. Then those atoms release more neutrons and energy. The reaction repeats again and again, billions of times.
Look at that mushroom cloud. It reminds me of this. This is Isaiah. Where's 34 at? 34, and I'm going to start at 1. It says, "Come near, ye nations, to hear. Hearken, ye people. Let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world and all things that come of it. For the indignation of Yahweh is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. And he hath utterly destroyed them. He hath delivered them to the slaughter." And that's what the Lord's going to do. You can read about what Yahweh Shai is going to do in 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter, in the war of Armageddon. All right, because that's what's coming up. And thermonuclear missiles are going to fly. It says here, their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood. And all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, and all their hosts shall fall down as a leaf that falleth from the vine, and as a falling fig from the fig tree. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven, and it shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my cursed judgment. So those thermonuclear missiles, they're going to come from out of the atmosphere, and then come straight down upon America, Israel, wherever the Lord wants them to go other than those two places. They're going to come down and hit those places. All right, and it's going to be, when those mushroom clouds hit, it's going to be just like what you see in this picture. A scroll, this mushroom cloud.
Times in microseconds. That is the chain reaction. Now let's see. What happens when the bomb explodes? In the first microsecond of the explosion, a giant fireball forms. The temperature can reach hundreds of thousands of degrees, and for a moment, it can be as hot as the surface of the sun.
In a microsecond, that's quicker than you could blink. All right, but it says it's going to be as hot as the surface of the sun. All right, let's look at this. It says here, the sun's temperature varies by layer, with the core reaching about 27 million Fahrenheit. Its visible surface, the photosphere, is cooler at roughly 10,000 Fahrenheit, while the outer atmosphere, or the cornea, surprisingly heats back up to 18, let's say just the most, 3.6 million Fahrenheit. All right, so that's what it's going to be in a matter of seconds. All right, a millisecond. That's how hot it's going to get in a millisecond, okay? Once these missiles hit. It's going to be horrible, man. The fury of the Lord is going to be in these missiles, man. The hot anger of Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai is going to be in these missiles.
Around the fireball, the air suddenly expands, creating a supersonic blast wave. This powerful shock wave can destroy buildings several kilometers away. It also releases gamma rays and neutrons, which can damage human DNA. If the explosion happens near the ground, soil and debris become radioactive and rise into the air. Later, they slowly fall back to the ground. This is called nuclear fallout. Now the question is, how big can the impact be? Modern thermonuclear weapons can be hundreds of times more powerful than the bomb dropped on Hiroshima. But still, a single bomb cannot destroy an entire country. However, if many nuclear weapons are used, the effects would not stay local. Smoke and dust could fill the atmosphere, blocking sunlight. This could lead to something called nuclear winter.
All right, let's stop right here. Because what did it say in the book of Joel? This is Joel chapter 2 and verse 2. It says, a day of darkness, this is the day of the Lord that's coming. A day of darkness, a day of gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness. As the morning spread upon the mountains, a great people and a strong, there have not ever been the like, neither shall there be any more after it, even to the years of many generations. So once these missiles come, destroy what they're going to destroy, there's not going to be any more that comes after it, because once we get in the Lord's kingdom, it's going to be peace. Okay, so there's not going to be any need for instruments of war. And there hasn't been anything as deadly as this thermonuclear missile before. You just heard the person in the video, the robot in the video, whatever it is, the AI thing in the video, saying that the nuclear missiles are going to be 100 times worse than the bomb that dropped on Hiroshima, okay? Verse 3, it says, a fire devours before them, and behind them a flame burneth. The land is as the Garden of Eden before them, and behind them a desolate wilderness. Yea, nothing shall escape them.
Which could affect the entire planet. So the real danger of nuclear weapons is not just the explosion, it is also the environmental and political consequences. Have you ever wondered how a nuclear bomb can...
I want this. Brothers in the same mindset as wanting to be in the kingdom of the Lord wants this. All right, so whatever has to happen before this happens and after this happens, if you want the Lord's kingdom to be set up, then you're not worried about anything, because at the end of the day, this is what it's going to lead to. It's a chain reaction. This is going to lead to the Lord's kingdom being set up and this one being taken down. I'm going to keep reading in the book of Joel. It says, the appearance of them is as the appearance of horses, and as horsemen, so shall they run. Like as the noise of chariots on the tops of mountains shall they leap, like the noise of a flame of fire that devoureth the stubble. As a strong people set in battle array, before their face the people shall be much pained, all faces shall gather blackness. Let's read that in NLT. Fear grips all the people, every face grows pale with fear. So they announce on the news, you hear it on the media, some form of media, whether it be social media, the news, the radio, the television, whatever, right? You'll hear that, you got 30 minutes before somebody's such and such missile touches over here to whatever country you at. People are going to be afraid. Verse 7, it says, they shall run like mighty men. They shall climb the wall like men of war. They shall march every one on his ways, and they shall not break their ranks. Neither shall one thrust another. They shall walk every one in his path, and when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. If you're paying attention to this war that's going on between Iran, Israel, and America, the missile defense systems, they're being depleted, and they're not as effective as they can be against, just regular missiles, right? Just imagine a hypersonic missile. Just imagine an intercontinental ballistic missile. It's going to blow right through that thing. Plus, the Lord's Spirit is going to be on these missiles, okay? It says here, verse 9, it says, they shall run to and fro in the city. They shall run they shall run upon the wall. They shall climb upon the houses. They shall enter in at the windows like a thief. The earth shall quake before them. The heavens shall tremble. The sun and the moon shall be dark, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. Is that not what the lady said about what's going to happen with these missiles in this video? She did say it. It's going to be darkness. Verse 11, and Yahweh shall utter his voice before his army, for his camp is very strong, for he is strong that executeth his word. For the day of Yahweh is great and very terrible. Who can abide in it? And nobody's going to be able to stand, man, if you're not of the Lord's elect. All right. But this is what's coming, man. Lord will is edifying. You can see. Pay attention to what's going on in the news. Lord will is edifying. To the next time. Shalom.